Hi everybody, happy May Day. We're going to go on a little tour of the garden here. Take a look. Right behind me you see I got the hops. They're really jumping up already. So I got them trained on this old parachute cord. Going right up to the top there, huh? That's going to be a nice teepee type structure later in the summer here. Now other things are popping up. Cedar's starting to bud out. We got the serviceberry coming up, and the Nanking cherry coming up, and the lovage. Lovage is coming up big time right now. Look at that lettuce, monster size by now compared. Spinach just coming up, some orach. And the forsythias out there to color it up. Getting more pollinating insects. We'll take a look. Japanese knotweed. Polygonatum cuspidata. The hops teepee. And here we got the gooseberries coming on strong. The ribes corner here. And raspberries over here. You can see the peonies coming up red in the background. That's May. And May 1st is the season for the tulips. These are the European bunching tulips, and they just live under this tree. They dominate this season. I did a little bit of uprooting. I got a lot of mint out of my strawberries, so we'll probably have happy strawberries this year. See, I got some dock. They're growing in around the strawberries too. That's a perennial. There's another one here. Sorrel is one of my favorites. Excuse me, did I say dock? Yeah, I meant sorrel. And here we have another great and delicious plant. Chervil. Delightful stuff. And it'll grow over the winter. This has been growing since last year. I'm gonna throw seed here pretty soon. And I've got for company some Johnny Jump Ups. Yum. Very easy to grow. There's a transplanted lettuce. And you see how orach is kind of dominating this patch here. This was all seeded last fall. And all that green is radishes. I just broadcast radish seeds. The birds eat a bunch of it, but still they can't eat it all. And everything else has kind of gone over to onions and garlic. I got a little excited about the onions, I guess. But the peas are coming on. First two rows there are the ones that I've been saving every year and reseeding. Now you see what I'm using these all these yard sign hangers for, you know. It's one of the fringe benefits of being an activist is you get lots of these metal yard sign things. Tremendous resource. Tremendous. Oh, here we got some turkey tails coming up. These are old ones, but this is a log that was inoculated a couple years ago. Should be throwing some more out pretty soon here. And comfrey. Don't forget your comfrey. Yep, comfrey in the free box right now. It's time to get that comfrey in the ground. It's a useful plant, and it sure grows well. Yeah. Take a look at the compost real quick. There's what we just filtered out. That yummy stuff is going on the plants. That's the less pleasant part of the operation. And there's some calamus coming up. And of course rhubarb. Man, gotta get back on that rhubarb a ways. Quite a bit of that stuff. Okay. Well, that's a little bit of a catch up around the garden. You can't really see a whole lot more. We got the Brussels sprouts planted. Got little baby broccolis in there. A couple of onions. But things are just getting started. Here's last year's kale over by Jerome the garden gnome. Yeah. All right. Well, have a happy May Day there. This is May 13th. We're going to go take a quick look at the garden. Sorry if some of the other stuff hasn't downloaded properly, but here we are on May. What the hell's going on with this thing? These Johnny Jump Ups and chervil are going to be turned into salad here pretty soon. The chervil's getting to the point, as you can see, it's starting to bud up. That's primo. That's when it's at its top. And vetch, a really useful and spontaneous member of the garden that I always let grow in my spring garden for a while because it's such a good nitrogen fixer. You can kind of see it scattered around here. And I'll pull that up as soon as I start to plant other things. In the meantime, it'll enrich the soil. Trying a wall of water on my tomato plants because I could never get full-on red tomato at this latitude. So I gave myself an extra 2.5 weeks at least. These went in late April, 1st of May, 2 weeks ahead of our frost-free date. So, all right. Now, the only other thing I've got to show is I've been broadcasting radish. You can see the radish there next to the oregano and some feverfew. And it's coming up across the field through the onions and stuff. And I'll be thinning and pulling those out. So by the end of May, those will all be gone. All those radishes will be done because they went in April. Here, this upright grass is the winter rye, or standard annual rye, and I plant this around to combat the quackgrass right next to it there. You see, the rye actually produces root exudates that discourage the growth of the quackgrass. So it's a nice way to put a border around those areas that you don't want the quackgrass, like everywhere. Here we have a lot of orach and red mustard here. This is what I broadcast over this area. Here we get a good view of the orach in between the peas as we go along here. Now, I'm going to be coming in soon and harvesting all the purple that you took a big bag of orach off of this patch right here. You can still see there's plenty left for another harvest. And underneath the orach, we got coming up the oxalis. I also choose the red oxalis because, again, it's easy to spot when I'm trying to weed. But you see there's also the green oxalis there. It can't be helped. Here you see we got the mixed greens growing in with the garlic. All this was seeded in last fall, and I got the you can see we got the red mustard over here, we got the troutback lettuce, we got the orach. We're growing all this in between the rows of garlic, and we got, these will be the poppies coming up underneath, and they'll be coming up in another few weeks. By then the lettuce should be gone and the garlic should be getting mature, maybe ready to start pulling scapes. That'll be about a month. Here's the real owner of the place, huh? There's the head squirrel. Yeah, shake your tail at me. Show us where you are. Okay, here you can see they're taking out the orach and leaving behind some of the lettuce. We'll get done with that. See more in a second. Here's the after shot. You see, pretty much the orach is removed. There's enough for another harvest. And I liberated all the lettuce. Now you see over there's the radishes. We thinned those out for a bit. There's still going to be another 10 days, 5-10 days on those. There'll be tons of radishes right there. And where I didn't get the radishes fast enough and just tilled the soil over there by the pitchfork, you can see the orach is coming in without any help at all. So today I'm going to harvest all of the chervil here and all the Johnny jump ups that you see. Take a look. This is what we end up with. Bag full of these guys. Usually want to trim them about like this, below that first notch, and that gives you a nice, nice edible green. Where is it? There, with the flower attached. It's easy to manage. Then you just go through. You see where I've been down the row here and trimmed off all the tops. Just taking this easy stuff. It goes in the bag. That's it. Johnny jump ups. And then the chervil, we'll come and take that out pretty low because that's a lot of green. We'll come and take that out down at the bottom here. Here we are, May 24th, and time to do some new changes in the garden. You see we've got the squash here next to the mustard. It's about time for the mustards to come out. They're getting pretty big. You got a bunch over here that are starting to bolt. So this whole area is gonna get cleaned up, and we'll put more tomatoes in here. Also, you see the radishes and orach. All this stuff is the remnants of the early, or the spring garden. And that'll all be harvested so that we can put more tomatoes and things like that in. Meanwhile, over in the pea patch, you see that the orach has been thinned out 3 times now. We're gonna make one more harvest of orach maybe. And underneath the orach, you see, look at all the oxalis is coming up. So this oxalis has just been reseeding naturally, but it's covered a pretty good area here once the orach gets cut away. Here we see the new tomato plants and the cauliflower that's been in for a while, chives that are finishing up. A little bit of leftover chard there, but most of the chard's gone now. I'll leave some of the rye and chervil for shade on the other plants until they get a little bit bigger. But you can see it's changed quite a bit.